Most advice for overwhelmed moms tells you to do more, to organize more, to squeeze in one more system, all in the name of being more efficient. But biblical productivity is different at its very core. If life has still felt overwhelming, even if you have routines in place, this may be the piece that's missing. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you'll know how to clarify your priorities in a way that honors God, steadies your home, and frees you from carrying burdens that you were never meant to carry. The first shift is simple, but honestly, it's life-changing. In short, it's not about doing everything, it's about doing the right things consistently and prayerfully figuring out what those things are and naming what they are. For a long time, I assumed the problem was just me. It was just that I couldn't keep up. My routines just didn't stick because I wasn't disciplined enough. And every day I was always playing catch up. I felt like I was always exhausted. But the real issue was not my discipline, at least not all the time. It was really that I was trying to fit way too much into one day or into one routine. I treated all tasks as if they carried the same weight. In reality, biblical productivity is not about squeezing in more or optimizing harder. It's about knowing the right things, the things that God has entrusted to you in this season, which is going to look different for everybody, and then building your rhythms around those. For most Christian homemakers, those things are going to fall into three clear buckets. The first one is faith. So that includes things like spending time in the Word and in prayer, just building in to your faith and shaping your soul as you spend time with your Lord. And that's going to be good for your soul, but it's also going to fill you up, and it's going to change how you show up for your own family. The second bucket is family. And that's just the quiet relational priorities that most of the time don't shout for your attention. And that includes things like connecting with your husband, having some slow, relaxed moments with your children, taking time to create a warm, loving atmosphere in your home. Things like these are going to shape your home more than any checklist of tasks that you have to get done on a given day. They're the things that your family is always going to remember. The third bucket is daily stewardship, and I would say that the home and health falls into this bucket. So it includes both the physical tasks that you need to do for your home and the physical care that allows you to do them. So for home, that includes things like meals, dishes, laundry, your morning and your evening routine, cleaning, things like that. For health, that includes things like nourishing your body and the members of your families, their bodies, with good nourishing food. It also includes things, if you like this, which I highly recommend, at least moving your body a little bit daily, even if it's gently stretching. And it also includes things like rest that support your energy. So going to bed at a good time and taking some rest during the day, that falls into that third bucket. Because when your energy is gone and you're not taking care of yourself, your capacity is gone and stewardship becomes nearly impossible. So it really is important to take care of yourself. These aren't glamorous, but together they form the backbone of a steady home. And I want to make a quick but important clarification. These buckets are absolutely not equal in weight. The first two, faith and family, are usually the quietest in your day, but they carry the deepest long-term impact. They shape the tone of your home, they shape your relationships, and they shape your heart and everyone else's hearts. But that doesn't mean that practical tasks don't matter. They absolutely do, and those tasks are what help your family feel loved. God uses ordinary work like meals and dishes, laundry rhythms, things like that, to keep a home functioning and peaceful. So they're very good. The mistake that we often make is treating everything like it sits on the same level, or treating the loudest things as the most important. So this shift helps you see your day more clearly. Some things are foundational, like faith and family, and some things are functional, like your home and your health. Both absolutely belong in your day. They just don't belong in the same position in your day, if that makes sense. Once you name these three buckets and the things within those buckets, everything becomes more simple. You stop trying to pack your rhythms full of all the things that you think need to get done, and you stop treating every task like it's equally important. You start building routines around what actually matters. matters. And that's when consistency becomes more possible and more attainable. It's not because you suddenly became more disciplined, but because your days finally reflect your real priorities. And if you want help figuring out what your real priorities are and turn them into simple rhythms that actually work, my free masterclass walks you through that step by step. You can grab that down below. But here's what most moms don't realize. Even when you name the right priorities, your whole day can still get derailed by the things that feel urgent, but they're not actually important. I used to jump at everything, every notification, every little mess, every request, every distraction. If something popped into my mind, I treated it like it needed attention right now. And that was partly because I was afraid I was going to forget, but now I use my notebook, and that's a whole nother story. If you want to see how I use that, I'll link that down below. But anyway, my day might have started with very clear intentions, but by 10 a.m. I was off track. I was frustrated and acting short with my kids because I'm literally reacting to every little thing. It wasn't that I didn't know my priorities. It was that I let false urgency run my home. So this is where so many moms get stuck. The world teaches us to react, to hustle, to scramble, to micromanage as if it's a noble thing. But as Christian women, we're called to something higher. Honestly, it's a much more freeing way to live. And that being wisdom over urgency, being present over distracted, being intentional and not reactive, and just simply having a quiet trust in God's providence throughout the day. Here's the truth that no one really teaches us, at least not very often. Urgent and important things are not the same thing. Most of the noise in your day is urgent, like text messages, especially if it's not on Do Not Disturb, tiny messes, tasks that could be done, or everyone else's timelines. But your priorities, the ones that you named in point 1, are important. And when urgent wins over important, then your day can feel really frantic, even if you technically have a routine. But here's the habit that changed everything for me. I stopped letting urgency choose my next step. I started choosing my next step based on my priorities and the calm, intentional rhythms that I built around them. Practically, that looks like finishing breakfast cleanup before checking any text messages, or choosing to connect with my child over chasing a random chore or task. Another one that I like to do is exercise or move my body first thing in the morning before I start jumping into some kind of task. And then sometimes letting small, non-essential tasks wait without guilt. When you operate like this, your day can become calmer, not because you got everything done, but because you're no longer pulled in 10 different directions at once, and you're really not allowing that to happen. And ultimately, you can rest knowing that you're being faithful to what God has actually put in front of you. And that is a deeply restful place to live from. Your home won't feel less chaotic just because you have routines. It feels less chaotic when you stop treating everything like it deserves your equal attention. When important drives your day and not urgent, your routines finally start to work. But there's really one more shift that you need, because even when you know your priorities and resist urgency, there is a final mistake that quietly drains your consistency. It's the one that almost every overwhelmed mom makes, and once you fix it, your rhythms can finally stick. By the way, if we haven't met yet, my name is Lauren. I'm a homeschooling mom of 5, and here on this channel, I help homemakers very practically bring rhythm and rest into the heart of their home. If that sounds like something you need, don't forget to like, subscribe, tap that notification bell so that you don't miss my weekly videos. This last shift is what finally made my days feel doable. A lot of moms aren't inconsistent because they lack discipline. They're consistent because their routines weren't built on priorities. They were built based on all the tasks that they thought needed to get done. When I first started running a home, I built routines that looked really great on paper. They were detailed and organized and sometimes even color-coded because that's what someone taught me at the time. But they fell apart the second that life happened. A child woke up early, there was a spill, a squabble, a delay, anything. And at that point, I kept assuming that I just needed more motivation and more discipline. But the real issue was that the routines did not match my priorities or my season of life, and I didn't really know how to build those. So here's one thing that many Christian homemakers miss. Productivity is being faithful and wise with your time, not being fast or flawless. It's about, again, doing the right things for your home. Your goal isn't to cram more tasks into your day and get them all done. Your goal is to walk with God and care well for the people that He's entrusted to you. Prioritizing margin and learning to say no to all the extras that could be done is often an act of trust in the Lord for the time and the lot that He's given you. So instead of building routines around everything that you could do, you build routines around what actually matters for your home and your season. So here's exactly how you do that. 1, start with your priorities, not your tasks. Take one priority at a time as you think through this and ask, what's the smallest repeatable habit that will move this thing forward? Example, nourishment. So maybe you can do a quick weekly meal plan on a Sunday evening, or establish some simple rhythms that support dinner, getting dinner on the table at a good time, like thawing meat in the morning, chopping vegetables at lunch, and then leaving plenty of margin for toddler interruptions whenever you're actually preparing dinner. Another one might be family connection. So what are some things that you could do to establish that in your home more? Maybe it's 15 minutes of one-on-one mommy time with the child each day, or making sure that you have a good daily check-in with your husband, or reading aloud at breakfast. These are just examples. There's no prescription here. Another example is faith. So example of a habit that you could include in your day, scripture before scrolling, or having simple prayer in the morning while the house is still quiet. These are very simple habits and they're quiet, but they absolutely shape your home more than anything else, especially whenever you're doing them every day. Number 2 is to put those habits into simple time blocks. This is the shift that finally makes routines work. Time blocks, I love them because they're just realistic containers for your day. You can use morning, midday, afternoon, evening, or whatever fits your home. But the key is, or the concept is that each block is going to hold the things that you've already decided matters to your home. You're not racing the clock. You're not stuffing the block as tight as you can with as many tasks as you can. You're just steadily putting those tasks in the block, and then you're steadily moving through what needs to happen. Interruptions don't ruin time blocks. You simply just pick up where you left off. One rule that I like to say is, even though you're not racing the clock and you're not, going by 30-minute time slots in your day, it's still good to try to start your block on time and then just flexibly and faithfully plod through it once you do that. So this is just a very simple way to structure your day around your God-given priorities. Number 3 is to use a daily top 3 instead of trying to get through a giant to-do list each day. So each morning, ask, what are 2 or 3 extra tasks today that will honor God and serve my people? And these are things that are outside of your normal routines. They're like the normal or random things that come in all of our homes each day. So write those down. And if you get those done, that's a win. If everything else falls apart, but those get done, you're doing well. And if you're postpartum or, you're in first trimester, it's a really intense season, don't do 2 or 3 things, make it like 1 to 2 things. And if you get that thing done, awesome. Step 4 is to build margin on purpose. So again, don't try to fill every single minute. Leave room for squabbles, for the surprises that happen divinely, slower days, just real life. And give yourself permission not to check your phone constantly, to let text messages wait. They can wait, and then not fix every little thing the moment that you see it. Margin is part of biblical stewardship. And then 5, normalize not getting everything done. So just say it plainly. You will not finish everything today. And that's okay. It's very normal. Faithfulness is doing what you can with the time that you had and then resting in the Lord with what's left undone. Biblical homemaking isn't about squeezing in every possible task. It's about knowing what God has actually given you to do in this season and then building simple rhythms that help you be faithful in those priorities. When you bring all these 3 shifts together, naming the right priorities, resisting false urgency, and then building routines around what truly matters, your days finally stop feeling frantic. You gain clarity, your home steadies, and you start seeing real consistency without adding more. And if you want help turning this into a simple, personalized rhythm for your own home, I'll walk you through this step-by-step in my free masterclass. You can grab that down below. Thank you so much for being here today, and I'll see you in the next one.